The Last of Us Season 2 Episode 2 Review. Let's face it, Joel Miller's passing is the main topic of discussion in this week's episode of The Last of Us. As a result, it sets expectations. Abby killing Joel will have the greatest possible impact, leaving a hole in Ellie's life that she can only fill with retaliation. Everything else in the episode will be designed to ensure that this occurs. It serves as the catalyst for the remainder of the narrative. The series' most pivotal moment, except for Joel's disastrous decision at the end of Season 1. Therefore, it is frustrating that the second episode of The Last of Us feels like an afterthought for the most part of Season 2, a sideshow to an exhilarating but explosive fight scenario. The latter piece is the most important one, and throughout the first half of the episode, the tension is expertly increased, leading to a wonderfully cramped scene in which Abby struggles through the snow beneath a wire fence that is buckling under piles of infected. The pressure created is oppressive, and it is a clear example of the rabid relentlessness of the infected. It opens with a very eerie shot of her assailants rising from the earth and thawing out like some furiously enraged frozen peas, before the camera pans up to show the enormity of their numbers. It's a deft illustration of the evil's many facets that this second season reveals to us. The irony of Joel saving her is obvious, and the avalanche of human fungus makes us feel sorry for Abby, a woman we shouldn't feel sorry for given what led her to Jackson. It's unfortunate, then, that the tension in that situation is entirely released by a long detour back into the town, which is now the new target of the infected's wrath. As the individuals we've become most devoted to, Joel and Ellie included, find themselves outside the walls and away from the onslaught, it removes the emotional stakes from the episode for a significant portion of the runtime. However, the sequence largely succeeds once we're inside the lodge. As it hovers about the room as Owen, Mel, Manny, and Nora exchange uncomfortable looks, the unstable camera captures the underlying uneasiness. They stand in sharp contrast to Abby, who is icy and intimidating and possessed by a rage that makes her closest allies shudder. The subtle concentration shift from Caitlin Dever's focused face to a nearby set of golf clubs is nearly met with a smile, showcasing her range, which is completely on display when she descends into an almost sadistic mindset. However, I am conflicted about Joel's leaving strategy. The manner Abby left sitting there, seemingly as a monument to her triumph, and the finality of the mangled club shaft nestling into his neck are both appealing to me. Additionally, it provides a pleasing symmetry to Joel's impalement in Season 1, only that this time, Ellie is powerless to stop it. Even though it's definitely violent, some of the shock is muted and doesn't match the blunt punctuation that Abby uses in the game's last swing. Pedro Pascal, of course, is no stranger to having his brain pulped on HBO. There are many parallels in this episode, and he gives a flawless portrayal when he portrays the show's anti-heroes, or villains, depending on your point of view, death. His eyes show that he acknowledges that his time has come and that he will have to pay for his choices. Although Pascal's portrayal of a 60-year-old Joel may seem implausible, I totally embraced his softer take on a character Troy Baker first gave a more savage edge. Also deserving of recognition is Bella Ramsey, who does a fantastic job of capturing Ellie's destruction. Her sobs are sincere and real, but they are tinged with resentment at Abby that doesn't appear to be going away anytime soon. It's unfortunate that so much of the duration is devoted to a story that might have been delivered as a separate chapter, even though there is some shock in this sequence and it takes up the entire program for around 15 minutes. Even while it's sometimes beautifully presented, we are frequently distracted from the episode's emotional heart as we witness people we hardly know become victims of waves of infection. Give or take Tommy's blowout with a bloater in the alleyway. From a creative team that has traditionally managed to pull together its major moments with far less stress, this is a rare misfire. Two stories that don't exactly give each other enough space are presented in The Last of Us Season 2's second episode. Although the production quality is undeniable, it was always going to be difficult to include a complete battle sequence into an episode that also featured the series' most important moment. The end effect is a skillful, frequently exciting television hour that, in the end, fails to do justice to the greater narrative and the characters it irrevocably alters.